Oh fuck, it's me.
Yeah.
Hello
It's-
everybody.
Yeah, you gotta do the thing. Yeah. So.
Totally forgot about that. Hello everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Far Off Films. I'm Luke. I'm Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and yeah, I'm joined with these people.
Yeah, the creepy ass white rabbit from the channel The Walrus Man, who has taken
The
too
rabbit
many
man.
drugs and the eyes have gotten really big. Who else is here?
And I'm the actual stop motion animation itself, Timmy from Tim Jong-un Productions. So, yeah, how were we all doing?
I'm doing fantastic. A little sick though.
I'm doing fine, except it's just extremely cold for me.
Same.
Yeah, it's been cold as well. It's like that's just I don't know about how it is for you guys in the other parts of the world, but from where I'm standing, like there have been bits where it's like it got as cold as like 50, like low 50 or like high 40-ish. And
We
I was
don't
like,
use that
it's the
trash
fucking
system.
summer.
Yeah, we use like
of-
Celsius.
We use
this
Celsius.
stupid
Oh,
Fahrenheit
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit? Why did you say Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit. That's how you say
The
it,
most
right?
stupid. America has their stupid measurements, but Fahrenheit it has to be the worst one. Like,
Oh, yeah.
my God.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I know what a Celsius is because I've never like been in a situation where I needed to know like what something was in Celsius, because like I just when I need to check the weather I just go on my phone and it says, oh, it's 62 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool. So
You see, 62 degrees Celsius mean you would be fucking dead. In
Yeah.
I would be on fire.
Yeah.
I would be burning alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, that's just confusing. Like
It's not. You see, water boils at 100
at
degrees.
212 degrees Fahrenheit.
What? That's so
Lord.
dumb. That is so silly.
And
You
like,
see,
and water freezes, I think
freezes
like
at
0
zero.
degree. Oh, okay. Wait, I don't know when
That's
it
in
freezes in
Celsius.
Fahrenheit. Okay.
You see it? That's why it's confusing. It's because the Americans made their own silly version of it when it was perfectly fine from the beginning.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if America has their own system, it must be better than everyone else's. That's because we're the greatest country in the world.
They ruined meters. They ruined measurements. They ruined degrees Celsius. What the
I mean, think about it like this: like when you watch a game of like American football.
I don't. I've never watched a game of American football.
Yeah, non-Americans don't watch American football.
I mean, I'm
do they?
sure there are like non-Americans that are fans of American football. Like,
I think my dad watches
I'm
it.
sure there
I
has to
think my
be.
dad watches it.
Like there are non-Americans who love baseball, like,
Baseball's
and that's
the
an
fucking
American
worst
sport, you know. Like
It's so boring.
it's so popular in like in the East Asian countries, like Japan and Korea. There are like tons of professional
We call it-
baseball
we
teams
call it
there.
cricket. The cricket in Australia is
Okay.
fucking insane. People will.
I think someone explained to me the rules to cricket one time, and I like just sat there confused. I just didn't
I mean,
understand.
I don't fully understand it
Yeah.
myself.
It's like, actually, honestly, I think baseball's probably a bit more exciting than cricket. Cricket
Yeah,
is
honestly.
more boring. Yeah,
But you don't find American football fun? Like it's basically like
it's just
watching dudes like beat the shit
it's
out
just
of each
like-
other.
Yeah, but
you
you
know,
guys
like
have the-
that's why hockey is
You guys
fun.
have the
Yeah.
fucking stupid armor. We do that in Australia, but we don't even have the armor. We just have like people getting concussed by like getting like knocked out in the head and like tackled
Yeah.
like, in crazy ways. We don't even care.
I feel like that's kind of dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but
It's
I only
extremely
came to the,
dangerous.
I only came to the realization that AFL, which is what we call footy here, that was like super like violent until I saw like a non-Australian react to it, and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck? This is like insane." I was like, "Wow, it kind of is." Like I never,
Yeah.
never looked at it like this. I just thought it was kind of like normal.
Yeah, and you're calling me like weird for like using Fahrenheit and like our like
But that
unit
is
of
weird.
measurement, but then you guys have sports where you guys are free to beat the shit out of each other with zero protection whatsoever. I just find that super concerning.
That's
So-
more fun though.
like say what you.
I mean, you guys have like
at that
boxing
point, just
and
watch.
kickboxing
but
and
at
like
that-
all that
yeah.
shit. So
But do you guys not have that? I thought.
I
like,
mean, we do,
boxing
but
and,
it,
like,
it
you know,
seems like
MMA
a very like
fighting.
American thing to me, at least. Like,
I don't think that anyone in
Very-
Australia does boxing.
everyone does boxing, but it's like a very popularized by like American thing, like wrestling. Like that's like WWE. That's like a very American kind of event, you know? Like,
Which I've grown to appreciate. I had a friend who's been showing a bunch of like WWE shit and like getting me to watch some like wrestling matches, and they're kind of wild. Like you should definitely like watch some of these clips. They're basically like glorified live action anime adaptation. They're like anime essentially. So
at least in rugby, someone doesn't like smack another person with a chair and like jump like from a 50-foot like metal cage and like
see, but isn't that fun?
onto
Isn't that
someone
okay?
else.
Now in retrospect,
it is
yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah, now in
But yeah.
retrospect, I'm understanding the rugby thing where it's like, yeah, it's fun to see like people whack the shit out. I mean, but yeah, like, but at the same time, like that's why
It's
boxing
just for
exists.
the boys to release their anger.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's just boys being boys. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
At least
yeah,
they're not like the Brits who just go fucking wild over darts. I don't know how they do that.
I think certain sports should be super popular everywhere. Like I think like archery should like be a fucking thing everywhere. I know that's like part of the Olympics or whatever, but like there's something about shooting a bow and arrow at a target that I find just like really cathartic. So
Damn. Talk about Kevin moment, right?
Yeah.
I'm not like at least I'm not saying, oh man, like we should all have guns and like shoot things or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. Bow and arrows have like actual class and shit. So, and I've been replaying The Last of Us Part 2, and that's like my go-to like weapon as well in the game. So it's like I've just been kind of having a moment with that. So, looking forward to how they recreate that shit in the HBO show in like 2 years. So, without spoiling anything, of course. So,
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. Yeah, so anyway, well, Jules, any shit that has happened last time
Not
since we last
much.
talked?
There was a thing that we kind of talked about a little bit before in a previous episode about that Sam Levinson show that premiered at
Oh, yeah.
Cannes. And like apparently it's just like fucking awful. Like I saw the RT scored like
What's its score right now?
oh I've
yeah,
been seeing
I thought
it
like
tick down from like 32 and now it's almost like at like a 12%. Oh, I don't know.
I think it's lower than that last time I checked. Hold on, I gotta check for sure.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, wait. It went back up to 27%, but I swear to God, like it got as low as like 9% or
Yeah.
8%. I swear to God. Yeah. So I don't want this to be another. I feel like I can't. I'm not in a position to judge though, because I've never seen Euphoria. I know that's the other Sam Levinson show that he did. And my only point of reference when it comes to Sam Levinson's work is the really pretentious Malcolm and Marie, which I don't think is reflective of like, you know, this shit. So I would have to like see like footage. I would have to like see episodes for me to like come to like a final judgment about that. But like I will say it was like really amusing to just watch the Rotten Tomato score just go
Oh my God, it was
down
so
further
fun.
and further
Yeah.
and further. That was really amusing
was
to me.
Yeah, I was
So-
like, how far can it go down? Is it gonna go down to like a 5% or something? But yeah, nah.
I was really like hoping it'd be like, oh man, I hope it gets to like 0% or some shit like that. So yeah, so yeah. I don't know how you guys. I think you guys have seen Euphoria,
Jules has
right?
seen one
Or-
episode and hates it.
I know Luca has. I saw 2
Okay.
episodes and I hated it. I thought it was fucking boring as shit.
Wow.
Really? Okay. How do you find child porn boring?
What?
Yeah, I know, that's crazy, right? I've seen Malcolm and Marie, which I did not like. I thought that was pretty shitty. And
Yeah, I remember 0 things about Malcolm and Marie. I like that movie has like entered and then exited my brain.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I don't think he's like a very good director or writer from everything I've seen from him. So yeah, I don't have any hope that this is gonna be good. It's very
He
fun.
did what was that film, Assassination Nation or something like
Oh,
that? He
yeah.
did that one
I haven't
too,
seen
right?
that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I haven't seen that either. I just know he did that one. Yeah, so Luca, what are your thoughts?
I don't care about the show. It seems like the worst thing in the world. Sam Levinson and The Weeknd together is like a recipe. What did I say? A recipe for misogyny. Yeah, that literally is like.
Is The Weeknd a misogynist? I didn't even know this. I just know his music. So
I mean, half of
um,
his like songs have like lyrics about him like beating women or some shit. So
oh, what?
I mean, that's just what my friend told me. I don't really know. I don't really know too much about The Weeknd, but apparently there's been some stuff that has come out about them. But mainly Sam Levinson, like he does not seem like a cool dude. Um, yeah. He needs this thing called a writer's room. I don't know if he's ever heard of it before. There's this little tool in filmmaking called a writer's room.
Does he write all of Euphoria?
Yes.
Like every single episode? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it kind of reflects, like, I like Euphoria, but there's moments in the second season that are like, buddy, you just need to get a group of writers together to fully plan out your shit. But yeah, like, just the stuff that I've seen from this show and like the stuff I've heard about it and like kind of like the graphic content it's expressing just really rubs me the wrong way, especially for...
And from what I understand, the last time we talked about this, like, wasn't like the premise like originally it was supposed to be more of like a feminist series. Like,
yeah,
it
just
was directed
seems
by
like
like
they've stripped all of that away now and just made it like a
Yeah.
weird like
some weird like Pornhub fetish or some shit.
it also
yeah,
seems
so.
like the lady from Upstream Color was supposed to direct the show as well, and
I
then
think
they
she did
kicked
direct
her
like
off.
half the show, but then like Sam Levinson said, "Fuck that shit! Like, we're gonna like redo
Yeah, we're
a
gonna
bunch of
scrap
this."
it and make it how I want it.
Which is
some
which is some super weird like porno shit. Yeah, which like I have nothing against like sex and like media in general. I just like there just like has to be a point to it. You can't just like throw it in because you find it hot or whatever, like. And the things that Sam Levinson finds hot, I just think are like, I mean, I'm not gonna shame him for having fetishes, but the things that he specifically likes including in his shit, from what I understand, kind of weird. Yeah, like he really, really, really likes women on the younger side. I'll just say that. Because like wasn't like Malcolm and Marie like wasn't like Zendaya's character like what like 15 or 20 years younger than like John David Washington or some shit like that? I literally don't remember, but I thought that was like a plot point. Yeah. So, yeah, he really likes them kids. So
Just think he's not a good writer.
yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I'm only basing how I feel about Sam Levinson just from Malcolm and Marie, and I didn't think Malcolm and Marie was like a well written script either.
Yeah.
So, I'll try and watch Euphoria. That's something I've been meaning to watch anyway. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, The Idol. Are you guys at least like not curious? Like
not
you,
watching it.
No,
because
I
like
don't want to watch any of it. Yeah.
like because I kind of want to check out like how bad could this possibly be, sort of thing. Like, it's like when you hear about like, oh, a train wreck is happening, you kind of like want to see the train wreck happen,
Yeah.
So
But I don't really want to contribute to
not in
viewing
this
figures.
context.
yeah,
No.
that's fair. I mean, you could always just pirate the show, so.
Yeah, it's only if it's like if I'm really curious, which not really I am.
Well, thanks, Sam Levinson. The moral of the story is it's not porn if you present it as art, I guess. So, speaking of love, we finally, you guys saw Rye Lane a long time ago. I finally got around to
Yeah.
seeing it. So, and yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really, really good film.
Wow.
I love it. It's probably my favorite film of the year so far.
Same. I think it's fantastic. It is very feel good, very nice vibes.
Very much so.
movie.
Yeah, I know you guys had like a very, very high scores for this film, and so did a lot of people. So I feel like my expectations I might have been a little too high because I didn't love it as much as you guys. I'll just say it for sure. There were still a lot of like rom-com cliches that I thought were like super predictable about the film, and some scenes weren't really doing it for me. But like, I think the best thing I can say is like what makes this stand out from like generic rom-com shit is just like the presentation. Like I really liked how it was shot. Like I thought like the cinematography was like surprisingly nice for like a movie like this. I liked the scenes where when they're like recounting like stories or whatever, they're actually like in the moments, like when they're like, so like when the scene where like the main guy, like he goes to the movie theater
Yeah.
and like he's recounting like what's happening, but you also see him at the movie theater like doing the shit or whatever. I thought that was really cool. There were like a ton of bits like that, and I really enjoyed that. So
Super stylish. Definitely could see like some Wes Anderson inspirations in there.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Use of color I thought was really nice.
Oh, the color itself was awesome. I really liked how it was used.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Yeah. The presentation is like definitely one of the best parts of the movie. I think that like I get how like it does have those like rom-com tropes, but those didn't really bother me at all because I think the film was pretty self-aware at what it was. Like it knew it was this cheesy rom-com, and there were elements to it that like were self-aware about what it was. But yeah, I just think like the story and the characters and the presentation just elevated it to be like probably one of the best like rom-coms ever. Because like if you think of like rom-com, like what do you think of? Like
Forgetting Sarah Marshall or some shit
yeah,
like that.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like 50 First Dates, shit like that, but like this film like it still is like technically considered a rom-com. Like the film is a romantic comedy, but it like takes that genre and just transforms it into like its very own kind of vibe, and I really liked it. Like people were saying like that it gave them like Scott Pilgrim vibes, and I didn't really get that at all.
Oh yeah, I
was
could
like,
see
this
that.
is
Yeah, I
very
could see-
much.
I guess I can. Yeah.
I don't really see that at all. I was like, I feel like this film had like its very own distinct style. Like I didn't even really feel any Wes Anderson isms in when, and you guys just said that. Like I feel like it definitely has taken inspiration from things, but it felt very much like its own thing in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
it feels weird like in a current day of filmmaking, like now, like I wonder like, damn, is it even possible to create your own kind of style? Like there's so many styles that already exist, but I mean if you're just a good enough filmmaker, you'll just do that, because that's exactly what I felt within this film. Like everything was just like an exceptional debut, honestly. Like it felt
Yeah, I
really
can't believe this is what's the director's
great.
name? I'm blanking.
Rain
and Miller.
Yeah. I think what like I think it's crazy that this is their like directorial debut, because there's a lot of like really good stuff that I would expect from like a more experienced like director and shit like that. But
yeah.
So I see what you mean, in that the film is like kind of, it's like self-aware about what it is, even, but I don't know, like I think being self-aware but then still like doing the things anyway, like I still think that's like kind of like falling into it's like, I'm not saying this, it's kind of like how like Deadpool, and I'm not saying this is the same thing as Deadpool, but like when Deadpool like, oh, like this part sucks or whatever, like this is the part we make fun of, like superhero landing, but they still do it anyway, sort of thing. Like I'm not like the biggest fan of like bits like that, and then like this is much better than something like Deadpool, like obviously, but like it was like kind of reminding me of things like that. Like when the stupid trope of like, oh, I wasn't the cool girl as I said I was actually lying about that sort of thing. Like I was like, okay, we're getting to this part of the
When
story now when like, things like fall apart or whatever. So
when I mean self-aware, I don't really mean it like in like that Deadpool kind of way. I just think the movie knew that it consisted of those tropes, but it was
yeah.
just like it was just so great at like all of its like filmmaking aspects that it like it was able to like transcend those tropes and make a kind of sappy, like generic kind of by the book story feel really genuine and like emotional. Like the two lead performances, they felt so
Great.
like distinct to me that like I was like, I searched them up. I was like, what other movies have they been in? I've seen
I think
these
this is
people
their only
before.
film. Yeah.
And then it
so-
was literally like some of the only films like they've been in, and I was
Which is
like,
crazy
what?
because they're awesome
It
in the
is
film. Like I really,
crazy,
really
yeah.
love I really love their performances.
Fantastic
Yeah, I thought they were
performances.
great. Yeah, so
Bloody fantastic.
Incredible chemistry
Yeah,
as
apparently
well.
the guy who's
definitely.
playing Dom is going to be in what the fuck is his name? Evil Dead remake guy. What's his fuck? Fede Alvarez. He's going to be in Fede Alvarez's Alien movie, which yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's a new Alien movie.
Yeah, there's a new Alien movie with Fede Alvarez directing. So
Straight to Disney.
hell yeah,
What is
for the
happening?
for the
What?
for the kids, for the families. So
That's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, I wish we could have gotten fucking Neil Blomkamp's
No,
Alien with
why would we?
Sigourney.
Why would you want that? Have you seen his shit recently? So
I think
True,
Neil
true,
Blomkamp
but,
could do
like-
an awesome Alien movie. That's the only thing he can
Yeah.
do is Alien
And
movies.
Sigourney Weaver.
I mean,
coming
I
back?
would rather see Neil Blomkamp's Alien than Fede Alvarez's Alien. I don't want to see another Fede Alvarez film.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
But anyway, like, not that we're not talking about Alien. We're talking about this shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
there were kind of to me like the way that this was kind of like subverting like tropes within a genre. It kind of reminded me of something like The Worst Person in the World, because The Worst Person in the World was also kind of like a romance like type movie
Yeah.
that was also like subverting tropes about itself, like about its like genre and stuff like that. Like I still think like
Definitely,
The Worst Person in the World is still the better film compared to this, but like this seemed like it was going for like a similar thing, and for the most part I think it accomplished its goal pretty well. This one is trying to be more of a comedy than The Worst Person in the World, and that's kind of like what's like holding it back for me a little bit, because like not all the humor kind of landed for me. Like the chemistry is really
Okay.
great between the two actors. I think the actors have like great chemistry. They like bounce each other off very, very well. You know, just like some of the humor just didn't really work for me. Like I didn't really care much for the Love Guac, however you say it, like joke when they go to the burrito place, and it's like, look, it's Colin Firth. He was in Love Actually, and he's running Love Guactually or whatever. And I was like, I was just more shocked that they even got Colin Firth in the movie. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
is that
that was
Colin
wild.
Firth? Yeah. So,
Yeah. When I
yeah.
saw that, I was
like,
like,
what
huh?
the
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So, but yeah, just some of the humor wasn't really my thing, but what I took away more from the film is just like the presentation. Like a lot of like, I'm not the biggest fan of like fisheye lens, but they somehow made it work in this film. Like I really, really liked the cinematography.
They look
Yeah.
great in this.
This
film.
might be like one of the best uses of fisheye lens.
I
I've
think
ever
it's because
seen.
it's not like a full-on fisheye lens. It's like it's a bit there, but like
Yeah, it's not like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I've seen a
Fisheye.
fisheye lens in a movie, it like looks super weird. But in this film, it just felt very natural.
They did it in Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, that's true. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's true. It worked well in Evil Dead Rise as well.
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
people have just been getting better at fisheye lenses because
That must be it, because I'm not the biggest fan of fisheye lens. So like when I've been seeing it recently and shit like this, it's like, wow, it actually looks kind of good. Like I really hope they make Dutch angles look
Yeah.
cool at some point, you know. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah.
And overall, yeah, it's just really sweet. Like it's a very like, like I thought the ending was like very earned too. Like the ending was like very cliche and very like very cheesy, but
Yeah.
it's it's the same way how like your name is like kind of cheesy, but like it earns like its cheesiness sort of thing. I guess everything
Yeah,
just connects back to
totally.
your name for me. So yeah, so
I love the ending with the waving on the boat thing. I thought that was super sweet. Great
Yeah.
wrap up.
I
Love
love
the
the
ending.
like the spinning shot above them at the end, and like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and colors in the title card. That is a stylistic technique that more films need to use. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
god.
true. Yeah.
Use colors in your title cards. It doesn't need to be fucking white text on a black fucking background, guys.
Nah.
Come on.
Dude, but like white text on a that's like badass or whatever, you
That's
know?
like-
yeah. People think that's badass. So yeah.
Like you already know a film is going to be like 10 times more stylized than anything you've ever seen if it has credits that don't look like normal
Yeah,
credits.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like small things like that just add to a lot to like the detail of this film. Like there's a lot of stuff that didn't need to look that good in this movie, but they just did it for the sake of it, just because it made like the whole vibe and feel of the movie so much better. Like it's very vibrant feeling, the film. And like, yeah, like from that opening shot alone, like through all the toilet stalls to that last one, they both start off of overhead like views of the characters, and it's like they've kind of put you into the minds of these characters. It's very cool stuff what they're doing with the camera in this movie, and I really liked it. And yeah, the comedy completely worked
Yeah.
for me. I thought it was funny. Like it has that perfect sense of cringe
Yeah.
humor where it's like not too cringe, where it's like properly cringe, but and then some of it is just like genuinely funny and endearing, and like
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
saying all the humor didn't work for me. Some parts I really, really, really got into. Like I loved
Yeah.
the scene where Dom like visits his girlfriend and her new boyfriend, which is also his best friend
yeah,
or
that
something
was
like that.
so
I thought
good.
that entire
Yeah. That was my
that entire
favorite scene.
confrontation was like like okay, if this scene was just the movie, this would be like a 10 out of 10 for me. Like I really, really love that bit. Yeah, so,
yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun. But yeah, it's just it's a sweet little movie. It's also so short, it flies by. Like yeah, it's like if you find yourself liking rom-coms, you should definitely watch this movie.
yeah, this is one of the better ones that you could be seeing right now. So
Definitely.
I'm going to be introducing this to as many people as possible because it is kind of flown
yeah,
under the radar.
I mean, I had
Yeah.
zero interest in it, so I'm glad you guys forced me to see this because I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. So this would have been like
Yeah.
in the pile of other 2022
Yes.
movies I would probably have never seen, like Shazam 2 or some
2023.
shit. Sorry, 2023. Yeah. So yeah. So
Yeah, I'm glad Luca saw it and then gave the high rating, so that encouraged me to see it, because normally I just like avoid those like straight to streaming movies. I'm just saying.
oh, was it
whatever.
straight to it? Did it
They
not
can't be
have
that
like a
good.
theatrical release?
It had a theatrical run in the UK, which makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, it just came onto Disney Plus
Not-
for
not-
me.
Yeah, those straight to
Yeah.
Disney Plus. Yeah, same.
But yeah, I just found it because I was looking at the Sundance lineup, and then this was there.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like, oh cool, this seems cool. And then I saw like
it was
one of my
great.
friends watch it, or Tom. He was on the podcast. I saw Tom watch it, and I was like, okay, I guess it's out. And then I watched it, and I was like, yeah, this is great, really great film.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I think I might have seen this as like one of the lineups. I was just more focused on the other things that I was interested in, like the new, what was the new Brandon Cronenberg Infinity Pool. I think like that was like higher on my priorities and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm glad I finally came around to this. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I hope it gets around to more people because it's very accessible, I think.
I hope this
think,
gets her more financing to make a bigger budget movie. You know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously-
I
I
don't know
mean-
what the budget of this movie was, but it felt like it used
Feels like
all of
low
that.
and high. at
Yeah,
the same
like
time.
it's this. I wouldn't be surprised if this like wasn't anything higher than like 10 million or something like that. Because like there technically isn't a lot of spaces. There isn't a lot of locations. They just go to like the most they just go to a supermarket and then like go to someone's house. Like that's about it in terms of like locations.
Looks
Yeah.
and feels way better than any like big budget rom-com could ever achieve.
Yeah, I
so-
mean, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me actually check the budget. Hold on, Rye Lane.
I'm looking right now. I can't seem to find it anywhere.
There's like no budget. It's kind of hard to tell. with
Yeah,
these,
budget
like,
NA.
Disney Plus movies.
It made $1.4 million though at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's not a lot at all, but hopefully it was enough to satisfy.
I mean, $1 million. Is
Yeah,
a lot of
and
money.
also it's
For
like
movies,
it's a,
that's like
I mean, not in the
nothing.
film
Yeah.
world, but like.
and also it's like a
Yeah.
direct to streaming film
Yeah.
anyway. So like, there's no way you can judge like how financially successful something would be. And let's be real, like they probably hid this as well. They didn't have like a lot of marketing for it. So like this isn't like a fucking like
Yeah.
Star Wars show where it's like, oh cool, Mandalorian, like
Yeah.
subscribe to watch this shit, you know? So mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks because, like, I can
Yeah, it's
imagine
really
how many
great.
people would like this if they just watched it. But like, I guess some people will stumble upon it on Disney Plus. I'd hope, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what's going on with all that. So, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say, unless any of you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about. So,
Yeah, nothing really. Like, it's just a really great film. Like,
Mhm.
it sets out what it tries to be exponentially well. And it's just a fun little character piece with great characters. Very charming, very sweet, and relatable. And yeah.
Yeah, it is just a fun.
Yeah,
time.
literally. Yeah.
good times. Yeah. Cool. Well,
Good time.
Good
I'm
time.
giving it a 7 out of 10. It was awesome. In a rewatch,
Yeah.
I could see myself giving it a higher score, but I think a 7 is perfectly fine. So,
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I fucking loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, same. I really love it too. I'm like up there with Jules on a 9. One of the bests of this year, easily.
definitely.
I
It's-
can't imagine it not being in my top 10. I mean, it depends what else comes out this year,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
I
mean,
think it has a
This
pretty.
will definitely be in my top.
yeah, at
20
the very
list.
least, yeah, because this is already like one of the better films I've seen of this year. So, mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, not much good has come out so far, except like John Wick.
That's fair. I mean, I saw like some Sundance stuff. I saw a film called Slow, which I really, really loved. I actually kind of want to see it again. So whenever the fuck that's on streaming or digital or whatever, I want to rewatch Slow.
Did you watch Past Lives at Sundance?
What the? That sounds familiar. I gotta remember what that is.
No, yeah. It's before trilogy, but with Korean people, a movie.
Oh yeah. No, I did not get to see this. I should reiterate. I did not go to Sundance itself. I got screeners of movies from Sundance. I should have specified that. Yeah. But,
Okay.
oh yeah, I've seen trailers for Past Lives. This looks like my kind of thing. I still need to see.
It's not coming to my cinemas till fucking August, which I'm
Hey, it will
pissed
never
about.
come to my cinemas, so at least you're getting
yeah.
it. Stop being a bitch.
Technically, the release date for this film was January 21st. So unless something happened, I don't know what the fuck happened. So.
I mean, I don't think it's on its theatrical
Yeah.
run yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. I do want to see it, and yeah, I heard the before trilogy comparison, and I've only seen the.
Also, Rye Lane is kind of like the before trilogy in a sense as well.
Rye Lane is kind of.
I've only
the
seen the
trilogy.
first one. I haven't seen the other two yet. But yeah, I would like to talk about those at some point, just so I have an excuse to watch the other two.
Oh,
yeah,
we will.
So
We will. Don't
So-
worry.
yeah.
Probably me or Luca, whoever
Yeah,
does it
so-
first.
Yeah, one of us is
Hmm. So, speaking of fun times, well, Jules and I saw Guardians 3. Luca, I bet, didn't.
Oh yeah. Are we
Yeah.
discussing that?
I wanted to talk
Forgot about
about it,
that.
yeah. So,
Okay,
but
sure.
I know Luca doesn't give a shit about Marvel movies anymore. I don't either, but
my
I only.
friend actually told me to watch it. My friend was like, "Luca, you gotta watch this."
Oh, really?
Maybe I should just for you, but I don't know. And like now I thought it would be out on
I don't know.
digital.
I don't know if it's. Your
I mean,
shit.
did you like the first two Guardians movies, or?
No.
Oh, okay. I guess then you won't like this
I like
one.
the
Yeah.
first one. I remember liking the first one a lot when I was younger, but I don't know about the second. I don't really remember much about it, honestly.
See, I like the second one more than the first one, and I think,
same.
rewatching the first two before I saw the third one, like basically confirms that yeah, like I think for me personally, I think each film gets better and better. Like I think this third one is my favorite of the three Guardians movies.
Nah, I think.
Okay.
What about
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the Christmas special?
Oh yeah, apparently you need to see that in order to understand the full. Because I forgot about that film. So,
No, you don't.
Well,
I don't think
there
you
are
do.
some things where it's like they're in nowhere and like they have the talking dog, and I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, weren't they like in a spaceship where they ended in like Guardians 2? But then I remember like a bunch of like Infinity War and Endgame shit happened, so like I don't know, maybe happened there. I was not gonna rewatch Infinity War and Endgame. I was just gonna watch the James Gunn shit. So, yeah. So, yeah, but.
You gotta watch the Lego Guardians of the Galaxy, the
Oh,
Thanos
yeah.
threat.
And
That's
I
the
gotta
best
play
one.
the Guardians of the Galaxy the game too. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, that game.
yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. I guess Luca, if you didn't care for the first two Guardians, you're not gonna get anything out of this one. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you will.
Yeah.
I was just kind of shocked by some of the decisions that they made in this film, because I was expecting just another generic Marvel movie. Because I also have just stopped watching Marvel movies at this point. Like I don't give a fuck anymore. But
Yeah.
so maybe it's because my expectations were just so wildly low because it was like another Marvel movie. But there were certain things that happened in this film that I was like kind of genuinely shocked by. I was like, wow, I can't believe they actually did this sort of thing. Like, we're gonna spoil this, by the way. So, I mean, Luca, I'm sure doesn't give a shit. So, like, I can't. Like, there are things that
Yeah.
happen spoiler wise.
I
So,
don't mind.
so basically, yeah, like the whole like Rocket's backstory sort of thing was like easily the best part of the film, which is not shocking to me. Yeah, because like
Fantastic.
Rocket has always been my favorite of like all these characters, but like the way they kind of explore Rocket's backstory.
I like
Yeah,
Drax
Drex is
the
good
best.
too, but like the way they
Nebula.
like kind of explore like some of Rocket's backstory, like the scene in particular that like is still burned into my memory is when the guy from Peacemaker, what the fuck is his name? The High Evolutionary, yeah, that's it. He was like, he gets really petty because like Rocket is like smarter than him or some shit, so he's like, I'm gonna like kill you and like take apart your brain or whatever, and he like breaks everyone out, and you think like they're all safe and they hug or whatever, but then he shoots the otter voiced by Linda Cardellini, and then he shoots the other animals inside, and he like Rocket like starts having like a fucking mental breakdown. He starts like screaming and crying or whatever. Like that was like genuinely shocking to me. Like
He goes like AWOL.
yeah,
on his
exactly.
face
Like
as
that
well.
was genuinely like shocking. Like I did not expect something like that in a fucking Marvel movie of all things. Like I genuinely like kind of teared up at that moment because of like how shocking that bit was. Like the way he starts like breaking down crying and he like starts having like he starts losing it. I was like, wow, like this is kind of like emotionally heartbreaking, like which is not what I was expecting in
Does
like
he
a
have
fucking Marvel movie. and
accurate
everything.
depiction of a panic attack?
Yeah, he kind of does. Yeah, he basically
Yeah.
does. Like he
Yeah.
literally starts having a panic attack. Like he starts.
I don't know
like,
why that's been a meme recently, but on Twitter I've just seen like accurate depiction of panic attack meme, like because of this Puss in Boots thing, and like I don't know. Have you guys seen that as well?
It started because there was a guy that there was a guy on Twitter that edited the panic attack scene from Puss in Boots into like to make it look like the dog was giving a head and like someone got it was like, how dare you? This is a realistic depiction of a panic attack.
Okay.
And now that, it's just kind of
Yeah, but this
spiraled
is
from
also
there.
like kind of a realistic depiction of a panic attack too. So
yeah, that moment where you like destroy another person's
yeah, like that in of
face.
itself was also like super. And I was like kind of shocked like how much James Gunn could get away with this, because like near the end, after like they kick the bad guy's ass or whatever, like they pull his like face off or whatever, and he has this like sort of like bloody, like sort of like it was like
super
Red
cool.
Skull or
Yeah.
some shit or whatever, like kind of face or whatever. And I was like, damn, is like, are you allowed to do this in a Marvel movie? And if so, like, why haven't more directors done shit like this? I was just like confused. So
They said fuck in the movie as
yeah,
well.
Peter Quill, Chris Pratt said the fuck word. Yeah, and like that was, everyone was making such a big deal about that. It's like, like he said the fuck word. It's like, fucking get over yourself, like Jesus. So-
Don't they literally
No,
say
no,
it
no.
in, like,
Timmy,
Spider-Man?
read the reviews on the site Common Sense Media about the film, which is like a thing of the way like parents rate films. It's like a hellscape.
Oh
They hate
yeah,
the
yeah, I
film
saw that
just because they said the word fuck.
and yeah, they said the word fuck, but not the animal cruelty part. Okay, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone was telling me about how like the film is kind of like disorganized and kind of disjointed, which I don't agree with whatsoever. I thought they balanced the serious like Rocket backstory stuff really well with the like the funny like comedy bits that you would expect from like not just a James Gunn movie but from like a Guardians movie in general. Like everything that like Drax said is still fucking funny. Like I found all the characters still entertaining and stuff. Like when they go to the Earth 2 or whatever with all like the furries or whatever, and like Drax.
Oh yeah, and they blow up that entire planet.
Yeah, they blow up the
That was
they
cool.
blow up the planet. But I just like the part where Drax goes to the couch and he lies down and he's like, Drax, stop lying
Yeah,
down.
that's
It's
good.
like that's what it's for or whatever, you know, like things like that. You know,
That's my mentality, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, well, let me lie down on the couch, bro.
yeah, Drax, like this rewatch of the trilogy just like reaffirmed like Drax has some of the funniest shit to say in like all these films. Like in this
God,
the
yeah,
second
so
one, like
good.
I straight up burst out laughing at that scene where he's like, "Out of the way, smaller, dumber Groot," or whatever. So, yeah. So
I love that scene in the second one where he says like, "I am extraordinarily humble," and then like proceeds to compliment himself.
yeah. Yeah. So good. Yeah. I would say the only like the film's not like perfect by any stretch of the means. I have like some major issues with the
Yeah,
film.
nah.
Like I think like the biggest issues that come to mind are Adam Warlock and Gamora. Like you could seriously like
Yeah.
surgically remove both of those characters out of this film and like would like change zero things about the movie. Like you could still have the exact same film if you cut them out of the film. So
Especially Adam Warlock.
yeah.
Like I felt like he contributed nothing except for like that bit at the end where like, oh, he saved Peter Quill from the ship exploding.
He
I was
he
like,
did
oh,
have
he's
some
gonna-
like
he's gonna turn up.
he did have some like funny jokes. Like I'll admit that. Like I liked the part where James Gunn's brother like tries to like shoot the arrow at him, and he's like, "Who did that? Who threw this arrow at my neck or whatever?"
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that was kind of funny. But yeah, like the whole like he only exists to knock the shit out of Rocket so that he can just not be in the movie for like a good like third of the film. Yeah, so yeah, I wish Adam Warlock's character was like more better integrated because they set his character up in the second film. Like he's like in the end credits
Oh,
of like
yeah,
the
they
second
did.
film, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna kill the Guardians. We're gonna send Adam Warlock," and it just didn't fucking matter. So it's like, what was the point? Yeah. So and the same.
And that lady, that gold lady, was only in it for like 5 minutes, and then she just got blown
Yeah,
up.
and then she fucked off. Yeah, so it's like, what's the point? Yeah, so and like Gamora was kind of the same thing too, which sucks because she's like one of the Guardians members. But like, to be fair, like I blame.
I know I liked her in this film.
Yeah.
I thought like her new dynamic was like pretty. I was actually impressed that the little group hug scene at the end. I was actually quite impressed that like she didn't join in on it, because I was like, that's sort of obviously what I'd expect from like a soppy kind of like, oh, this is the happy bit of a Marvel film, but then she just kind of walks away, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty neat.
Yeah,
that,
I was
she
kind
doesn't
of-
really changed.
I was kind of concerned that like there was going to be a scene where like Gamora just like regains all of her memories or some shit, and then she's like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah,
like
same.
Peter," and then they like kiss and like make up
I
or
love
whatever.
you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love you or whatever. Like
But then she didn't.
yeah,
and I was
thank
like, hell yeah.
Christ. Yeah, like none of that shit happened. I thought the ending to this film was actually kind of sweet and endearing, like because I was kind of like expecting because this is like James Gunn's last like Marvel movie, and also this is like what I'm assuming is the last Guardians movie, that I thought they were gonna like kill some of these characters off. Like I was expecting like Like, I don't know.
I thought Rocket was gonna
I
die.
thought, yeah, I thought Rocket was gone for sure. I thought Drax and Mantis were also going to be gone for sure. But, like, no one really dies in the film. And, like, I think the way they send off these characters is much more satisfying than, like, just killing someone off. Like, the way they, like, just kind of, like, look, we kind of have our own things and we love each other, but we also have to, like, do some of these things ourselves. Like, Star-Lord has to, like, go back to Earth and, like, see his grandpa or whatever. And Drax and Nebula have to take care of all these, like, weird babies, like these weird alien babies, and like Rocket has to like form a new Guardians team or whatever, you know, like, but the way they like have this like dance off at the end as like a send off, I thought that was like super satisfying. I thought that was like a sweet way to end.
That's super sweet.
Yeah, so
They really tried to make it seem like Drax was gonna die in like the middle of the movie.
I thought
was
for
like, oh, fuck
sure
off.
he's gone. Yeah, I thought he was done. So
Yeah, I was
yeah,
like, nah,
yeah.
I was like, nah, that's not happening. You can't fool me.
Yeah, because even like Dave Bautista said, like he was done playing Drax. Like this was gonna be the last time he played Drax. So I thought they were gonna kill him off for sure at that point. So
You know what I found kind of funny? Is that the end credits scene with like the new team. The whole film has this like very strong message about like animal abuse and stuff, but then the ending is them like charging at like a group of like stampeding like animal things. I was like, why did you have to make it animals? Like you couldn't like wrangle up some extras just to make them like some like little alien.
yeah, I was gonna say,
alien
why didn't you?
raiders or
Yeah, why
something?
didn't you like throw in like blue alien raiders or some shit? You know, like why did you have to make them
why?
like?
You're kind of going against the whole thing of your film when you make them like flamingos or something like that.
I thought they were like, I don't remember. I thought they were like bulls or
Yeah, I don't-
something.
I don't
I don't remember. So, yeah, yeah. If you are squeamish when it comes to animal cruelty and things like that, I would not recommend you watch this because this is not this. I mean, this is still like a movie for babies. Technically, this is still like a kids' family film or whatever, so they can't go like too hard. But like some of the things that they do get away with, I'm like kind of shocked. And it's like, yeah, if you're not like a fan of, if you're like a PETA sort of like member or whatever, then like I would not recommend seeing this.
Peter actually said that this was like the best film to show children to learn about animal abuse.
Oh, really? That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I just can't stress enough like the Rocket backstory. Like, I kind of wished that they were a little more explicit, because I remember that one scene where like they see like movie footage of like Rocket's like torture or whatever, and Nebula's like, oh my god, this is like so much worse than what I had to endure. And I'm like, oh, fuck off, like come on, just like you can't just say shit like that, movie. Like what the hell is this shit, you know? So
Yeah, I mean,
how hard do they like actually go? Because I've heard so many different like stories about so many different people over the internet. It's like like what actually happens in like those scenes? Like
it goes as hard as you would expect a PG-13 movie to go. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like
they build
I mean,
up
like you guys are in spoilers, like so you can just describe.
well,
what
even then,
happens,
it's kind of
like-
hard to.
they build up all this like little family of like weird like hybrid animals that like you really care about, and then they just like kill them off like it's nothing. So like
okay.
that was pretty
Okay.
like Walrus is my favorite animal, so I was like, fuck, man.
What was his name? Was like
Walrus
yeah,
died.
his name was like
Damn.
Teeth or something, right? Or
Teeth, yeah.
yeah, and then the rabbit was like.
I was kind of distracted by the other animal because I couldn't figure out if that was like a rabbit or a sheep.
Yeah. No, I mean I thought it was a rabbit for me. And yeah, I love
I
how
thought it was a rabbit, but I thought it was a sheep.
and this is what I love about James Gunn, like, because he can, like, he pretty much builds everyone's character. Well, not everyone's, but, like, like, even, like, some of the small side characters, like the other animals, like, you build these characters and you think, oh, like, they might, you know, like, they might live to see the next day. And then he just says, no, fuck you. Like, we're done having fun now. We're going to kill these, like, animals off. And you know, like it would have been bad enough, you know, because like they're poor, like defenseless animals, like they can't like defend themselves or whatever. But then like you build these characters out and you like see their relationship with Rocket, and Rocket's like pretty much a different character in the flashbacks because he's much like more. What's the best way to describe it? He's like reserved. He's like kind of quiet and stuff like that. He doesn't like say a lot.
Yeah.
But then like once they kill off the animals and like the high evolutionary kind of like says, "Yo, like lol, you're crying over dead animals, like you just got pranked, bro," or whatever. And then like that pisses him off, and like he starts becoming like the Rocket that we're more familiar with when he like goes ape shit on his face and shit like that. It's like. This is like classic James Gunn stuff, because I think he did something like this as well in like the Suicide Squad, that movie that he did as well. Like I just and I thought that scene where Rocket goes to quote unquote heaven or whatever when like goes to the fucking train station from the last Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and he like sees like the other animals, like they're in heaven, they're like, he's like, "Can I come with you?" And they're like, "Sure, but first you got to do this other thing." And he's like, "No, I want to go with you guys." And they're like, "No." And then like I think like a shit like that could have been so cheesy and like so like cringe kind of thing, but they made it work. Like I said, like things I would expect to have like just fall flat on its face, like it works pretty well. And I think like James Gunn is like the main reason why all this shit works, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I don't know how you felt about the villain. I thought he was like super cool.
I liked the villain.
Like this.
I thought he was
I thought he was like, he was very refreshing take from just like he kind of was like I want to blow up the world, but like more like a what's the word? He just kind of like hates everyone for like no reason.
Yeah,
basically.
He's a racist.
And like that's. Yeah, he's a racist.
Yeah. So, yeah,
he's trying like crossbreeding.
Yeah. I think like he's kind of a refreshing like change of pace in terms of like Marvel villains, because what I fucking hate about Marvel villains these days is that they try to like make their villains like bad guys, but they're also like, oh no, but they're like secretly good guys at the end of the day. They're like good people who like were bad. It's like
with MODOK in the new Ant-Man.
Yeah, and that was like what like Christian Bale's character was in Thor. What the fuck? What does the other one? Thor: Love and Thunder. Like they do this shit all the time, and it gets like really annoying. So like when they make like an actual villain that's like unsympathetic and like you can't relate to,
completely unsympathetic.
Yeah, like he's just a massive piece of shit. It's like this is kind of refreshing change of pace. It's like, remember when Marvel villains were kind of like that in the beginning, because like a bunch of like Marvel villains were just like pure bad guys, and like and I think it's like when Thanos showed up, because they try to like humanize him a little bit. And like that was cool for that specific moment.
And that worked.
Yeah, but it's not cool when you make every character, like every villain, like that. So, but yeah, but I wasn't, and I liked it more than Ego. If I'm being honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of Ego from Volume 2. I didn't really much care for that villain.
I think he might be the strongest like villain out of this trilogy.
Strongest in terms of what, like power level, or?
Nah. Well, then that would go to the Kurt Russell character, right?
Wait, no, that is
like
Ego. Kurt Russell is. Wait, what are you saying?
No, I meant I meant the villain in the third one. I think he.
Oh, okay.
He's like the best villain from like this whole trilogy.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, yeah, but overall, yeah. I mean, it wasn't perfect, keep in mind it's still a Marvel movie, so like you can only do so much, and within
there is some imperfections to
I
it.
would prefer this film does more things like outside of the generic Marvel formula, but that's just me, whatever. So but I think as of right now, like I think like this accomplishes what it wanted to accomplish very well. It's a great send off to these characters.
James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn too, so now he's the fucking king of DC, I guess, or whatever. So,
yeah, I just thought it accomplished pretty much everything it needed to do. Like, not many notes. It had some like pacing issues and stuff, and as you mentioned, like Adam Warlock and Gamora were kind of meh. But
yeah, I thought it was a little too long as well. Like you could have shaved like.
Yeah, there's like a little bits you could shave off.
Yeah, like 10-15 minutes you could have shaved off, I think, and then like lengthwise would have been perfect. So, yeah, because that's what's happening with all these Marvel movies. They're getting so fucking long, and it's like I don't have the patience to sit through a 2.5 hour Marvel movie about Ant-Man. Like, Jesus, like, come on. Yeah. So, yeah. So, but yeah, this I'm happy being as long as it is. I mean, maybe it could have shaved off like 10 or 15
Yeah.
minutes, but yeah, I'm happy with this. So, yeah.
There were some scenes that could have been cut out, but yeah, mostly I think it justified its length.
See, if I was Marvel, I would do everything in my goddamn power to like force James Gunn to continue making Marvel movies, because like so far he's made all the best ones. It's like, I don't know why I get that he's like the king of DC, but like you can't just willingly let him go without a fight, like Jesus. So like but
I mean, it's probably seen as like we do not want to associate with ourselves with you anymore because now you are literally the head of our competitor.
yeah, that's fair. So
Yeah.
I don't know, get James Wan or something. So
They need to make Batman and Iron Man fight now. That's the next step. They need to put
it'll happen.
DC
Wait, but
and
Iron Man's
Marvel
dead.
together. Well, I don't know. They need to make like some dumb multiverse.
Bring
shit.
him back from the dead.
Yeah. Like, literally, surely someone in the fucking Marvel universe has the power to bring someone back from the dead. Like,
I mean,
they could just solve all the issues.
No one's
Can't
ever
Doctor Strange
really
do that
gone.
shit
Yeah.
or something? Yeah.
I mean, didn't Robert Downey
I mean, that would remove all the stakes.
Yeah, like
but
then that would make like Endgame just pointless then, right? Or
Yeah.
didn't Robert Downey Jr. said he was like done with Marvel too? Or
I mean,
He's
probably.
done with Marvel until they give him a big enough paycheck. Probably.
that's fair. Yeah. So yeah, because I don't want like Batman to going off against like Gwyneth Paltrow or some shit. I don't want that to happen. Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, if we don't have anything else to say, I'll just get into ratings. 7 out of 10. Good movie. So fun.
Yep. Also, 7 out of 10. Fun little movie.
So, yeah, I can't wait because I really want to rewatch some of Gunn's earlier films. I remember enjoying Slither and Super when I was in high school, but
I like Scooby Doo.
that's fair. Yeah, Scooby Doo. He wrote the only not shit Zack Snyder movie, so that was fun, I guess. So yeah, so
Wait, did he?
yeah, he wrote the Dawn of
what
the
was
Dead
that?
remake. Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and now he's made a better DC movie than fucking Zack has ever. So,
Yep.
suck my dick. So,
I'm sorry, Zaddy.
yeah. So, well, speaking of, no, that would have been a terrible transition. Let's to get into the movie recommendation. It was Lucas' pick, so you have the honor.
Speaking of animals.
Yeah. Speaking of animals, Luca, your recommendation. So. Kick things off.
Yeah, so I recommended this movie called Alice from 1988. I did not know anything about the movie. I saw like a small clip and I was like, that is cool animation. I want to watch this movie. And it was something. I liked the movie, but it was kind of weird. It's kind of like I want to say twisted, but it's not really that twisted. It's kind of just like a weird version of Alice in Wonderland, like a weird interpretation. And it's stop motion animation hybrid with live action, kind of. And yeah, it's like just kind of like a vibes movie. I really like the atmosphere of the movie. Reminded me of like kind of like last year's or 2 years ago, Mad God from Phil Tippett.
Oh yeah.
Kind of reminds me of something.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of a film from 2018 called The Wolf House, which is a phenomenal film.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Not really that the films are any like plot wise interconnected or anything, but they kind of fall into like that type of film where it's like stop motion and just like vibes, pretty much, just kind of stop motion little worlds. And yeah, I found myself enjoying this movie for the most part. It was weird and trippy, and yeah, it kind of gave me like a 70s kind of vibe, even though like the movie Nelly came out in the 90s. It was like from 1988, so yeah, but it does have like a kind of special charm to it for what it is. And yeah, that's that. What do you guys think?
I mean,
Uh,
I have a very big affinity for stop motion. Like, I love the Aardman animations and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm up for anything stop motion. And I liked it for the most part. I thought it was very surrealist, obviously.
yeah.
Fantastic
Yeah.
animation. Very hybrid blend. But oh my fucking god, this is like a slog to get through. It's
Yeah.
so, even though it's like only like an hour 25, it's like fuck me, this is long. Like,
I was genuinely
Yeah,
getting bored.
it
Like,
does.
I thought
It does get a bit repetitive.
super repetitive. Like,
Yeah.
I think so. I did a bit of research on the director himself, and this was his like first like feature length film. He did like a bunch of shorts beforehand, and you can really tell because this feels like just an overstretched short. Like, I think like if this film was like
Yeah,
30,
I guess so.
if this film was like 30 minutes long or something, I would be super into it. I would really dig it. But it just stretches its concept so fucking far, and it's just so long for zero reason. And it's not even that long. It's like what, like under 90 minutes or something, but it felt like it was like 3 hours
Yeah.
long. I was like genuinely getting bored. Like, I think like near like around like 30 minutes left of the film, I just like 2 times speed the film because it's like, okay, I can't get through the rest of this like on normal speed. I have to get this finished at some point. You know, like
yeah. I did not 2 times speed. I watched the whole film
yeah.
in normal speed.
I didn't hate the film. Like, I'll say that I didn't hate the film. Like, because yeah, I also am a sucker for stop motion animation, and the animation is the best thing about the film. I'll just say that. Like, the way they pulled
Yeah.
certain
Fantastic.
scenes off, like, I don't know what the fuck they did, but they
Yeah, it is really impressive.
yeah, like the
like,
animation itself
Incredibly
is
impressive.
super impressive, and that's the best thing I can say about the film. But everything else was
Yeah.
like just kind of like maybe it's because like I have zero connection to like the Alice in Wonderland story or whatever, but I for the life of me just could not get invested in anything that was happening. Like, at best I was like mildly interested, and at worst I was just kind of like, looks nice, but you know, that's about it. So
Yeah, it is very much like a visual journey kind of movie. Like, there really isn't that much to it. Like I guess there is kind of like it has like kind of like these ideas that the Alice in Wonderland story does express in itself, but a lot of the film is like just showing off this weird world with this like great animation. And I was very into the atmosphere of what the film was providing. I really liked the animation, and I liked the kind of creepy character design that a lot of the animals had. And I thought like the sound design in particular was very
Yeah,
funny.
I would agree with
Not
that.
funny,
Yeah.
but it was like fun. It was really good. And like
it was interesting.
and-
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there were actually moments of it that were quite funny. Like yeah, and like yeah, I thought the sound design was used very well. Like yeah, on like a technical feat, I think the film is pretty great. But yeah, like it was completely just a blind watch for all of us. Like none of us knew anything about this movie's existence.
Yeah, I had never even
and-
heard of this film until you recommended it. So
Yeah, neither
Yeah.
have I.
Yeah, so yeah, just from a blind watch, like a completely random movie I know nothing about, I was pleasantly surprised. I did find myself enjoying this movie. Yeah, there's not really much to say about it though. Like
yeah, like because the film's like
yeah.
so lacking in a narrative, which I get is like the point. Like, that's not its priority. It's like trying to be like a trippy like nightmare mindfuck sort of thing. But like
Yeah,
there's a way you can do that, but also have like some kind of a narrative to like latch yourself onto. I don't know if you guys ever seen the film Mind Game. It's an anime.
No,
It's an
I
anime
have
film
not.
called from Masaki Yuasa. It's like this film kind of reminded me of that because Mind Game is also basically just like a trippy what the fuck like kind of ethereal experience that like also like is purely driven with its animation, as like very experimental like animation styles and stuff like that. But like the reason why, I'm not going to spoil the film, but like basically the reason why I can get behind something like Mind Game in comparison to this is like Mind Game still has like the all, it doesn't, it's not just like animation, it's not just selling its animation, it has like other shit that like gets you invested. It like has like characters that are weird but you find interesting. It has a narrative that's there, you just have to like look for it, sort of thing, while you're watching the film. It's like Mind Game is a film that's like begging me to look past like the nice icing to go deep into the cake, sort of thing. But for me with this film, like all it's offering is just like the icing, like because there's like zero cake inside the frosting. Like
I think there definitely is some.
There is like
that you
some
can,
of a kind of a narrative, like obvious,
gain
yeah,
from
obviously.
It's very
Yeah.
loose though.
Yeah, very very loose, like just very like barely there, sort of thing. So, because like
Most of it just kind of revolves around like this intrigue around this like weird ass rabbit.
and
in
I
a
hate the
suit
kid.
that's, like,
I hate the child
also
so
leaking.
much. Yeah, I hate the child
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really find the child that annoying or anything.
I hated when the camera
yeah,
just
I
like
thought she was fine.
just directly like panned to her fucking mouth every time, like, because I get that she's trying recounting a story, but it got to a point where it got so annoying. It's like, oh my god, stop this, please. So yeah, so
I think there was enough subtext to the film that made me appreciate it a bit more than just like a visual feast. I know like that is the main priority of the film, but the way I kind of saw it is like if like the regular kind of story of Alice in Wonderland is kind of like meant to represent like a young girl's struggle like in the world around her and like the confusing nature of like adults essentially and like the people around her, like essentially being transported into a world of people you don't know anything about. I kind of saw this film as kind of like a more darker and mature version of like that very whimsy inspired story, because this film you can kind of like tie into like that feeling a bit more, but associated with more maybe like more mature themes, I guess, because like this film even says that it's itself like this is a film for children perhaps, or it's not a film for children perhaps. I can't remember its
I don't
like
think it's a children's
catchphrase.
film.
at the
yeah, I
beginning.
don't. I think a child
Yeah.
would be like kind of interested for the first 20 minutes,
Bored
and
as
then yeah, and
shit.
then get super bored after that. So yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's kind of like it kind of has more to explore, like in like kind of like a growing up sense, like an allegory for like puberty and stuff like that, and like maybe more specific to like a women's experience, because there is a lot of like imagery of like morphing bodies and changing like the way you look and perspective and stuff, and I think there is a lot of interesting things to gain from it if you do look into it.
I guess, yeah.
But it is kind of halted by that surrealism as well, because there isn't really a story that is just flat out happens. Like there's themes and things to gain from the film, but there isn't like a proper narrative to string those things together, you know, like which works for it in certain regards, because it is trying to be like a trippy, out of the ordinary experience, but it also kind of makes it halt, especially for me in the beginning, when you're kind of just thrown into the world without any like proper context for it. Like that was kind of my main issue, and once I got into the world I was really like into it, but yeah, I just feel like it's kind of lacking just a bit of background to it. But I think overall it's an interesting enough film that I gained a significant amount from. And yeah, I don't know though. That's just how I choose to see it. I think it does have some stuff to gain from it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you picked those things up. I would never have picked those things up, because I wasn't as invested as you were. But yeah, that's cool. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's kind of like if the child-like version of it is just meant to represent like a kind of kid-friendly idea of what of confusion of the adult world, this is kind of like a more physical representation of that transformation into that adult world and kind of stuff like that. And like Alice's curiosities and confusion of the world around her. And yeah. I thought it was a funky little flick. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that I watched it. Because like, I don't know if I would have ever even heard of this movie.
yeah,
In any other way, but
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
but yeah, it was. I can't say I got much out of the narrative, because I was mostly just focused on like the animation. I was like quite impressed how, like, the shots of like the little girl was blended with stop motion, like. Just,
Yeah,
like,
those
creatures
were
fucking
really
about and stuff.
impressive.
yeah.
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 The stop motion is seriously the only thing that like was keeping me like to continue. I mean, other than the fact that we have to talk about this on the podcast, the animation was the only thing that like kept me invested in what was going on. But even then, I was just getting exhausted at a certain point. You know, like I think like other than just making this like a short, I think if this was just fully stop motion animated, I would be more into it as well. Like if this was like trying to be like a Fantastic Mr. Fox type, like stop motion animated type movie or something like that. Like I think it would just be better like if it was just a pure like stop motion animated film, if I'm being honest, cuz like having like I get the point that like having like an actual like real girl like can like make the transitions between like doll, like her becoming a doll and then her going back to being a human again. And then like I did like the scene where like when she grew back or whatever, she was stuck inside like a doll like casing or something, and then she had to like pry
Yeah.
herself. That was kind of cool, but like for the most part I was kind of confused why they didn't just make this a full stop motion animated film, because like you could still kind of do the same things that like they were
I
doing
think
in
it kind of just like budgetary stuff. Like it looked like a very like
Yeah,
boots to the
low-
ground.
I mean, yeah, I
kinda
guess it is
like, low
cheap. Yeah, this does
budget.
look like a cheap
Yeah.
film, but yeah, still like that's. But that's why I'm saying like I think this would have worked better as a short. Like just make it shorter. You wouldn't have to worry about like stretching out like your budget that way. You know, like I'm not trying to like
Yeah.
shit on the film, like, cause like this is a film like I respect more than I actually like. You know, like there's a lot I find admirable, and I think like it's a very well made film. Just like it was just not doing anything for me. I just could not connect with anything that was going on. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
yeah. So I wish I loved it. I wish I loved it as much as you guys. But yeah. So
I mean, I wouldn't say I loved it.
Yeah, I don't think any of us like loved the film. I just think it was a really interesting film for what it was.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad I can
and I
say I've
think-
seen it, because yeah, this is like one of the
Yeah.
more unique looking films I've seen. But at the same time, I've like zero
Yeah.
incentive to rewatch this again. So,
That's fair. Yeah.
so
One part
Yeah,
of
it's just
about
a
the movie
weird-
that
weird
really
little
struck
flick.
me. One part about the movie that really struck me was just like the creature design. Like it was very, like like from the beginning I was like, I don't know if they just look weird because that's just all they could afford to do. But then as the film goes on, you start to like kind of like get more introduced to just these completely absurd looking.
no, they just do weird shit because
creatures.
you know it's cool. You know, so
Yeah, you have like that weird crocodile thing, and even like the white rabbit
Oh,
itself
yeah.
like looks really creepy, like just especially with the eyes. Like
Yeah.
the eyes were super
it looks like it was in the microwave for
Yeah.
like a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
and like in
Oh
the
my
best way
God.
possible, sort of thing. So
yeah. Yeah. I think one of the most impressive scenes that kind of blended the animation and the real like actor was was when like the house flooded and like there was like that little swimming rat like
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I was
that, like
Oh, yeah, that was
climbed
cool.
up onto her head. I thought that like was really
that was
great.
probably the
Like,
most
it's, like,
impressive one. Like I kind of want to know how they pulled that one off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, it looked like great. Like it was fantastic. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, look, it uses a lot of cool little filmmaking tricks to like make it like visually engaging and like kind of seamless in some ways. Like there definitely is moments to it where they're like it feels like really cheap and like, oh okay, this was stop motion and now you're cutting to just like a regular person hitting a spoon, and like that like was all like kind of broke the immersion a tad bit, but I think visually it was interesting enough to keep me hooked.
yeah, I would see like a
yeah.
behind the scenes documentary of the making of this film. Like to me, like the making
Yeah.
of this movie sounds more interesting than the actual like movie itself. Like I would definitely like watch a documentary like behind the scenes sort of thing. Yeah, so
Yeah. And the sets were also really impressive. Like,
yeah, they were, I
The
guess.
sets were fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like that one at the beginning that had like all the ocean stuff in it. And like I
course.
remember there's one with like yeah, of course. There was like one with like a lot of holes. Like do you remember that scene?
Oh, with
like,
the socks?
house.
Oh yeah,
like
mhm,
it had
yeah.
yeah, like that was really cool. And yeah, like
I liked the
it's a kind of
I liked the part when the animals threw rocks at the little girl. I found that relatable. So,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
So, yeah. So
Yeah. But yeah, nothing much to dive into. Just kind of like a little freaky deaky, creepy kind of vibe. Yeah, like if you're a fan of weird older movies,
if you're a fan of stop
like,
motion
unconventional
animation,
stuff,
you're gonna love this.
and stop motion
Yeah.
definitely.
Like I
then
can
yeah,
easily
it's a
see
great
this like
film.
being
I got a
shown.
lot out of it as a stop motion fan.
Yeah, I could easily see
Yeah.
this like being shown to like film students or whatever, like specifically like animation like classes or whatever. Be like, watch this movie and see how they like pull off the stop motion. Because the most I got out of this was like, how the fuck did they pull off some of this like animation shit? I genuinely want to know, but like that's about it.
I read that.
Yeah.
I read that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are both influenced by this film when
Oh,
they're
really?
like making their shit,
Really?
which is very
Oh,
funny that the
that's so
Lego movie
cool.
was influenced off of this.
That's actually kind of makes sense. Yeah, because like the Lego movie is essentially like a glorified stop motion animated film if you really think about it. So like it wasn't like
Yeah, pretty much.
it wasn't stop motion animated like
Yeah.
itself, but like the way they use CG and
But
like
it goes at a lower frame rate as well.
Yeah, like
to make it look stop motion.
yeah, like the way they like made the film to make it look like it was stop motion animated. Like I think is kind of impressive, you know. So
Yeah, looks really
yeah,
cool.
and like the cheapness of the film also like is kind of like charming. It's like kind of what I see in something like Clone High as well. Like Clone High wasn't like stop motion animated, but like there's like a cheapness that makes it kind of charming as well. So, but yeah, Lord and Miller. I want to talk about the Lego Movie at some point. That will be a fun discussion. So yeah, no, but yeah. Anything else about Tim Burton's Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland? Because this kind of like I remember like I thought about the shitty Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland remake. That's what I said it correctly. Alice in Wonderland remake, and I was like, wow, like this is more of a
Yeah.
Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movie than the actual Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland movie that we got. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like because this also kind of reminded me
Yeah.
of like Henry Selick, like kind of like stop motion animation as well. Like
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of Coraline, if I'm being honest. Like there were bits that like were like, oh, that kind of looked like Coraline for a second, you know. So
Yeah, if you want like something similar to this, but you just want like if you want kind of more like substance to chew on, I highly recommend The Wolf House.
okay,
It's such a it's kind of like this film in the sense where it's like kind of like a reimagination of a
Classic book.
like like a children's story. Like this is like the Three Little Piggies, but super dark and dreary.
kind of like the Winnie
yeah.
the Pooh Blood and Honey movie or whatever.
No, not like that. But
Good
yeah,
Lord.
Wolf House is phenomenal, and like the animation in that film is is outstanding. Like some of the most creative stop motion animation I've ever seen ever. And it's also like very cheap, very small crew, like put together. Yeah, very much kind of like a good pair up with this movie.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it, so I'll add it to the watch list. Sounds fun though. Yeah, like I think we need more
Fun.
wacky, wild, like stop motion animated films. Like
Oh, trust me, that is
every
It's also like very creepy.
Yeah.
That
I think
movie.
every
Yeah.
like established director should be like Guillermo del Toro, where they just feel like, you know what, I want to make a stop motion animated film because fuck you, you know, like because Guillermo just
gonna make one.
yeah. So I hope to make one day. Yeah, I have like zero art skills, but I have so much like respect and love for
I
like.
used to make ones with Lego pieces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've all been.
Yeah, like
there. I
Forest
used to
Fire.
do
Yeah,
that
Forest
too.
Fire 101 or whatever his name is. The
Yeah.
the guy who made like.
Well,
like,
mine were nowhere is that good.
like
I saw on Twitter actually today someone made the Spider-Verse 2 trailer like in Lego. It looked like
Oh, that's
really
awesome.
impressive. Like it looked really
oh
cool.
yeah. Mhm.
I don't know if it was animated in a similar way to look like the Lego movie or if it was made from actual Lego, but either way it looked insanely
Yeah,
cool.
lots of
It was-
talented
yeah.
people like on the internet like could working on
Yeah.
great stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Mm.
So I love how we just
Yeah.
stopped talking about Alice because we literally
Yeah.
isn't nothing else to talk about. Yeah. So
Yeah, we can move on to ratings now for Alice because there's not really much to say.
I'll let you guys go first. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the movie for what it was. I thought it was technically impressive and had enough substance to dive into, but overall not the greatest stop motion weird escapade I've seen, but still pretty great, pretty good. I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Kind of liked it, but yeah, it's got some problems. But yeah, I enjoyed it as a little kind of weird experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. This is a film I respect more than I actually like. So, but I think plus I think a 5 is like
Oh,
more
no.
than fair. You know, like.
My reputation is preceding me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
Oh,
like you recommend,
God.
you always recommend eights or
first-
higher or whatever. Yeah. So,
The first
Oh,
Luca
no.
L movie.
yeah.
Ugh.
Now you guys know how I
Well,
feel.
for
'Cause- yeah,
yeah.
because because all I've been recommending is just like anime and Southland Tales, and like none of that is for you guys. So,
Yeah.
no.
yeah. So, yeah. So.
Meanwhile, I just recommend like whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, the Diving Bell and the Butterfly was awesome. I really loved that one. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We will be watching more films similar.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah. We also did Evil Dead, which I recommended. Yeah, we all gave Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness glory. Okay, so we all get W's at some point. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
but I'm still the most W's. What can I say?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be catching up though.
And I don't care about.
I mean, after Bone alone, I don't think you can catch up.
That's true. I forgot you did that as well. Yeah, I remember every time I update my list on Letterboxd of like all the films we talk about, and I scroll down, I was like, oh shit, yeah, we did talk about this at one point. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had to scroll down that far in a while because there's just been good movies recently. But like,
yeah, we should really change that if I'm being honest. Like we should start.
No,
Yeah.
I think I'm fine with
like
just
you
watching good
forcing
stuff.
these themes on us has forced us to like to recommend good movies, and I think that's pissing me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And speaking
Yeah.
of theme, actually,
well,
we'll
we should do
announce that
questions
later,
first.
but
Yeah, like one or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay, so I completely forgot to look for questions. So I was kind of scrambling while you guys were talking about Guardians.
Didn't they leave
I managed
questions
to
in
find-
the Evil Dead episode?
Yeah, so I managed to find one question from Matthias, but then I also just found like a random like question generator, so I'm just gonna generate some random
Sure.
ones, and if it's something too similar to something we've answered, then we can just skip it. But question from Matthias is, question for the next episode, blah blah blah. Favorite stand-up comedians, if you have any, guys. I don't know if you're big into that stuff. I'm not really, personally,
went
but
to
I thought
one
I
the
might
other
as
night.
well. I thought I might as well ask the question in case anyone does have any favorite stand-up comedians.
I mean, there are stand-up comedians I like, but like I don't like worship them. I don't like kiss their feet or
Yeah,
anything,
that-
or I don't like actively follow them. You
Yeah.
know, so like. Is Chris Rock
Yeah, that's
funny?
true.
Like, yeah, sure. Is Bill Burr funny? Like, yeah, sure. But like, I don't like their stuff enough to like constantly follow their work. You know, like, like.
I think the only like stand-up comedian that I rarely enjoy is Bo Burnham. But
Oh, yeah.
also, like, is he even a stand-up comedian anymore?
He
I
does
don't
his own
know,
shit
but-
basically. Like I wouldn't call like
Yeah.
Inside like a
Yeah.
stand-up comedy special. If I'm being
No,
honest.
definitely
Yeah.
not.
So-
Definitely not. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny for sure.
yeah.
It has funny parts in it, but like, I wouldn't call it a comedy special. So
It's a
Yeah.
surreal movie.
yeah, but yeah, I have like
It's like Alice.
Yeah.
It's made in one
Yeah.
I
room.
guess so. Yeah. So yeah, but not really. No. So sorry, I couldn't answer the question.
Yeah, not really my
Yeah.
kind of thing. I did watch
have,
the
like-
new John Mulaney stand-up thing the other day, and that was actually pretty funny. Yeah, some good jokes in that one. I really enjoyed it, actually.
I remember I was super into Don Rickles after I saw Casino, the Martin Scorsese film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. He's a fun guy. I like that. I like him a lot. So I mean, he's
He's a cool
dead,
guy.
but you know. So he was also Mr. Potato Head in the Toy Story movies.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah. So
Nah.
Yeah, I'd say mine. I don't really follow many comedians. One is a guy called the two I follow are Australian. One is a guy called Friendly Geordies, who's also like a fantastic journalist as well.
is he the guy who his
And
house
wha-
got caught on fire, or someone
Yes,
burned down
yes,
his house?
His house got firebombed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
His house got firebombed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one is Lewis Spears, who I just met the other night when I went to one of his shows.
Nice.
And I was there. I was in the front row, and there was like two other comedians there, and fucking all three of them bullied me for like being short and like 17 years old.
That's hilarious.
I got called an incel on multiple occasions.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I like shit like that when when
Yeah.
you like to me that's like wow, like the fact that you picked me out of
Oh,
all these
guys.
people to make fun of. Like I feel like a special boy in that sense.
I
Yeah.
know.
So
Apparently,
It's always
Judd Apatow
fun.
was a stand-up comedian.
oh.
Really?
No wonder no
Yeah,
wonder
I'm just-
no wonder
I'm just looking at
no wonder he
at stand-up comedians turned filmmakers.
no wonder he stopped doing that cuz none of his movies are funny either. So
Oh,
All right.
Does Mel Brooks count as a stand-up comedian? Because I quite like him.
is he
I
a
have
stand-up
no
comedian?
clue.
I haven't seen a lot of his films.
I feel like he's done.
so
I feel like he's done a bit of stand-up in his time.
yeah. I've seen Blazing Saddles. That's the only film from Mel Brooks I've seen. I've never seen anything else from him. So,
Well, you might be seeing some stuff soon from him.
okay. So,
Yeah.
Alrighty.
yeah, cool.
Let's try out this random question thing.
All right, let's do it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay.
If it says something like favorite movie, I'm gonna laugh so
Yeah.
hard.
What is the worst film you've ever seen? I feel like we've
Already
that
answered
before.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think
Yeah,
we answered that
okay.
on the first
Okay.
episode.
Yeah. So, because I remember my Dragon Ball Evolution tirade pretty well. So.
What is the film
Yeah.
that literally made you laugh the most? I feel
We've
like we've
also answered this
that
question
as well.
before. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's okay. Here's a fun one. Here's a fun one. What film is terrible but you love it? What is a film you know is terrible but you love it?
Aquaman? I would say that. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. It's like it's
Yeah,
not a good movie,
yeah,
but I love it
yeah.
anyway. So. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Neil Breen's films.
That's another one. Well, are we counting?
Oh, yeah.
Are we counting so bad it's good movies? Like, does that count or?
Well, I think it's a film that it has to be terrible, but you love it. So I guess So Bad
Yeah,
It's
Neil
Good
Breen.
movies.
Okay.
The after series, they're like
Wook
some of the
Hollywood.
shittiest
Actually,
romances.
Wook Hollywood
But, like-
isn't even that terrible.
No, it's like
Actually,
that's
Yeah,
like
no, Wakali was
it's like
good.
endearing. So yeah, no
disrespectful.
disrespect. Like Jesus, yeah. So
yeah.
like I don't know. Does The Room count? Like I don't know. The Room. Like I like The Room a lot, but like it's
Ugh,
not.
normie
Yeah,
shit.
it's like
Do you love The Room though?
I mean, yeah. Like back in the day, I did, but then my love for it kind of went down when everyone started fucking knowing its existence. So you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk. I've gone to see it 3 times in the cinema.
Yeah. So, but let's like move away from that though. Like let's talk about like I mean, because like I wouldn't call Aquaman like a so bad it's good movie. Like it's not a good movie, but I like it anyway, sort of thing. Like movies like Aquaman. Like let's try and think about movies like that.
Honestly, you know what I watched the other day? Tammy and the T-Rex is so shit, but it's so.
Oh yeah, what the fuck
It's
was that?
so
Alex?
Is that the
funny.
next
It is
upcoming
such-
nefarious reels recommended? Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
figured as
is,
much.
it
Yeah.
is.
So,
It is such a funny movie. It is like one of the weirdest experiences ever.
well, I guess
Yeah.
on the topic of dinosaurs, are any of the Jurassic Park sequels like that for you? Like they're shit, but you
No.
like them anyway, sort of thing. Because I guess you could make the argument that Jurassic Park 3.
Jurassic Park 3,
yeah, I was gonna
Jurassic
say
Park
that
3.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Love
It's
that movie.
bad, but it's so much fun.
I don't care. I love
Yeah.
it. It's not even that bad. It's not that bad.
I like,
Like,
Madagascar
there's
2 and 3.
Oh yes, yeah.
Funny as hell movies.
I actually think Madagascar 2 is like a pretty decent movie. I'm not gonna
No, it's
lie.
not.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
3's the best one, obviously.
it's fun. It's fun. Nah, two's the best.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I feel like the Aquaman thing is like kind of the best example.
Oh, Shark Boy and Lava Girl and
I can't sit through that
any of those
anymore.
fucking Robert Rodriguez.
No, like shit, like
His recent movie We Can Be Heroes. Oh, that's the funniest.
I
fucking
did
shit I've
not
ever
bother
seen.
seeing that. That looked so awful, and I grew out of Spy Kid, Shark Boy, and Lava Girl shit like that a long time ago. Like I remember I rewatched Shark Boy and Lava Girl during my last year of college. I watched that instead of studying for a final that I was supposed to be studying for, and I was like,
Jesus
"Holy
Christ.
fuck, this is dog shit!" Like it's not. It wasn't even like so bad. It's like funny type of thing. It was just painful to sit through. It's like I can't believe I liked this back in the day. So, yeah.
Oh, Killer Bean Forever. I love that.
Oh
film.
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So yeah.
There's a Ralph Bakshi movie called Cool World, and it is
I've heard of this
one
film.
of
Oh, is that the recent one?
wildest-
No, that's the one with Brad Pitt.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Brad Pitt, and it's
Yeah.
like a Who
like
Framed
Brad
Roger
Pitt's
Rabbit type
first
film.
ever
Yeah.
role.
That's his first ever
Yeah,
role.
it's
I don't
so
believe that.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Really?
it's Brad Pitt's first ever role. I'm not sure, but I think it was.
It's been described to me as like a shittier, like raunchier, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or something like that.
Okay, never mind. That's a lie. It wasn't. his
That's what I
first role.
thought.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so shit, but it's so funny. Like
You should recommend it.
Yeah.
Like Cool World has genuinely have been on my watch list for a long while. So,
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
and if you don't do it, then I will.
Okay.
Like
Oh.
yeah, like Jesus. So, yeah.
There's this Australian
Okay,
film
this
called
is a cool one.
it's a starring Steve Irwin. It's called The Crocodile Hunter Collision Course. And it's
Oh
basically
hell
just, like,
yeah!
This
They filmed Steve Irwin just doing his regular shit, and then just constructed a story about like CIA agents being like sent into Australia to like recover this like special like cube thing that like fell out of orbit and like into a crocodile's mouth, and like it's some of
Yeah,
the funniest
it's
shit. you've
wild.
ever
what,
seen.
what the hell is this movie called again? The Crocodile Hunter
The
Collision.
Crocodile
Hunter
Hunter
Collision
Collision
Okay,
Course.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it stars David Wenham, who was Faramir in Lord of the Rings. So he was in the Crocodile Hunter Collision Course and the Two Towers in the same year.
I think that's hilarious. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, we know which one's better.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I would say
Okay.
I've been on a Fast and Furious marathon for something I've been working
yeah.
on. I guess you could argue some of the Fast and Furious movies are in that, but I just gotta figure out which ones because some are just genuinely bad and like I get nothing. Like Fast and Furious 1 through 4 are so fucking boring. Like I barely remember anything from like the first four, and like Fast 5 I wouldn't consider like a good movie, but it's like I guess yeah, Fast 5 would kind of be an answer. Fast and Furious 6 also I guess would be kind of an answer. The only like Fast and Furious movie I think is like actually good is like Furious 7. The rest are just kind of like
Yeah, that's like the only good one.
yeah, and the rest are just kind of like either really bad or just like this is stupid, but this is also kind of fun sort of thing, you know? Like
Okay.
yeah, like were you not big on Fast 5, Jules? I thought you would like that as well. So
I like the Fast 6 where they have the showdown on like the 122-kilometer runway.
are you talking about the scene where
that's
like
the-
Vin Diesel like breaks and like shoots out of his car to catch Michelle Rodriguez like in the road or whatever? Or
No, I'm talking about the sixth one, which has the where they're trying to stop the plane from taking off of the runway.
Yeah.
It is literally like so long.
yeah. Oh yeah, and then like Gal Gadot's death in that film is just the funniest shit ever. It's just,
funniest shit
yeah,
ever.
it's like I get they had to kill her off because she had to be in Wonder Woman or whatever, but like still the way they did that was so funny.
Oh.
So yeah.
The Final Destination and Saw films kind of fall into this.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Saw films
Yeah.
particularly. I've never seen any of the the Final Destination movies, so I have zero context for that. Yeah.
Yeah, Final Destination. I
okay.
have not much context on. Saw, I know. Though.
Yeah, Saw definitely answers that
Yeah.
question. Yeah. So. Mhm.
Alrighty.
Cool.
I randomized another one. What was the first film you ever remember seeing? Like, so what's the first film you remember is the first film you watched ever? A bit difficult question,
The
but
first Sam Raimi
for me,
Spider-Man movie,
okay.
because that was my favorite movie when I was a kid. Like, I was a huge Spider-Man nerd. I'm not as much as I am now. Let me rephrase that. I was a huge Spider-Man nerd. My love for Spider-Man,
much more than you are.
yeah, much
now.
more than I am now today as a grown adult. But like,
With a Spider-Man profile picture.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, but I had like a Spider-Man mask and gloves and everything, and I would always wear those every time I like watched. Keep in mind, I was like 4 or 5 when I did this shit too. So like,
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah, so like, yeah, like the first Spider-Man was like probably the first movie that I remember watching as a kid. I loved that film. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint the exact one that was like my first one. Apparently, I
Just
saw
one of the
Despicable Me
first.
in cinemas, but I don't remember it. So if that was my first movie, then I'm fucking ashamed. But
We're also 8, so
The
or
earliest
something.
one that I
So
can-
like, I can't blame you for that. Or 7, I don't know. So
the earliest one I can remember watching is the Aardman film Pirates in cinemas. I remember.
wait,
that
was the question
specifically.
like movies you saw in cinemas that you remember? Because I didn't see. Okay,
No,
yeah.
just.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Then never mind.
Well, no, that's like the first one that I remember watching, like both in cinemas.
Oh,
The
and
first
ever.
like memory of media I have watching is like the Noddy show and like Noddy movies like on VHS
What
tapes.
the hell are the
like-
naughty movies?
Don't you know what Noddy is?
No, I don't know what
Jules,
this
do you know
is.
what Noddy is? Jules. Jules?
Jog my memory. I think I know what you're talking about, but
Noddy, like the Noddy. Oh, fuck, I don't know how to describe it. Let me get a picture of Noddy and see if you guys remember. This is the shit that I used to watch as a kid. But in cinemas, the first movie that I think that I watched in cinemas.
oh
was,
yeah, I remember this.
was-
yes.
yeah, I have zero. I don't know what
The
this
first
is. Yeah,
movie-
so
Uh,
Yeah, I remember that. Not really my shit when I was a kid.
yeah. Well, the first movie I remember watching in cinemas was Cars, and I had such a dreadful experience. I started crying. I wanted to go out of the movie theater. I wasn't having a good time.
was
as a
Cars
kid.
was a traumatizing experience for you?
Yeah, Cars was a traumatizing experience. I don't know why. I guess like first time at a cinema and like watching it on a big screen, I think I was scared by like their designs. I think it was like by like the cow tipping scene where I was like, I don't like this, I want to go out, and I was like crying and everything. It was a time. It was something.
Yeah, if we're just okay, well, I guess since everyone's doing their first theater experience movie that they remember, I don't remember which one of these movies I saw first. I can just like I guess verify which came out first, but I remember 3 movies I remember watching when I was super young. I must have been like 8 at the time, and I don't know which one I saw first, but I remember seeing Spider-Man 3, Wall-E, and Indiana Jones and the King of the Crystal Skull like around the same time, in theaters. Was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull 2008 or
It was.
maybe it was 2010? I don't know. I remember
It was 2008.
Okay, but Spider-Man 3 was also 2008, right? Or
7.
okay, then never mind. Yeah,
2007.
Spider-Man 3 was I guess my first theater experience that I remember. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was really obsessed with Totoro as a kid. That's the
The Ghibli film.
oldest yes, I know. The oldest DVD that I own is my Totoro DVD.
Oh,
And
wow.
I remember I tried to watch Spirited Away, but I was like, this is fucking boring. And I think I quit like even before like the parents had like turned into like pigs and
Yeah,
stuff.
Spirited
so
Away scared me. Like when the parents turned
when
into
the dad looks around like as a pig.
Yeah, that was
I
like
oh,
terrifying.
what's-
Yeah, so
You know what's funny? Just to give context of how much my taste has evolved. In 2014, so not even that long ago, but decently long ago, when Grand Budapest came out, I was watching it on DVD, and I thought it was one of the most boring things I'd ever seen in my life.
wow.
I was like, "What is
That's
this
one of the more
shit? I want to
fun
go
Wes
watch
Anderson
the
movies."
Flash TV
Yeah.
shows." That was literally me in 2014. I was much younger, so but yeah.
See, but I was kind of like the opposite because I was also watching a bunch of like superhero Marvel shit. But I also watched Birdman.
Yeah,
and I
same.
thought Birdman was awesome. Like when I saw
You
it.
watched Birdman in the cinema?
I didn't see it in the cinema. I saw it like I saw it after it came out,
okay.
so like when it was on DVD and shit like that. It was like when I was like
yeah.
15 or something. So yeah, and I only got it because I thought it was like a superhero movie. But then I was like, wow, this is some like art
Well,
house
it is.
masterpiece. Yeah.
So did a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, so I wasn't the only one that was tricked. Yeah. So.
I have a very specific memory of the. Do you guys know the film G-Force from 2009?
I know the
Yeah.
movie G-Force too well.
Yeah. It was like one of the first movies like I picked out when I was at like a DVD shop because my dad told me that the film was I can still remember it to this day epic. And like he denies that this happened to this day and I was like, Dad, you certainly you
Is
said
he on your
G-Force
dad a
was
film
epic.
critic?
Yeah, I think he was just trolling me or something.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say like G-Force, the most epic film ever.
G-Force is epic. Jules' dad. On the
This
cover.
is dank. We'll put that on the
Yeah.
on the cover of the DVD. Yeah. So
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well,
that was a.
I think we should wrap it
that,
up.
that was a strange time because
Yeah.
that also came out around the same time as like Alvin the Chipmunks and shit like that was coming out, right? Like just like movies where like animals can like CG animals talk or whatever, and that was like the appeal. It's like, haha, yeah.
Oh yeah, when I saw Jurassic Park for the first time in like 2015, I thought that was the Jeff Goldblum was the guy who tried to steal the chipmunks. And that's just always stuck with me to this day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it's Tobias Funke from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So. Anyway, yeah. I guess we're done with that. We move on to recommendations now.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in the light of Pride Month, I thought I would switch the theme that I announced in the previous episode from the random actor thing.
So don't listen to that. That was
which we all-
worthless.
we-
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we did all
Well,
assign
we'll be going
ourselves
back
random
to it.
actors though, so we'll go back to it. But yeah, I thought let's recommend some gay movies. So yeah, that's
Hell
pretty much
yeah.
just the next theme. So take it away, whoever's turn it is next. I forgot.
believe it's
I think
my turn,
Jules'.
right? No, it's my turn. I think, right?
Is
It
it?
is your turn. I'm pretty
Because
sure.
wait, yeah, Jules
yeah,
did
yeah,
Diving
yeah,
Bell and
yeah,
the
yeah.
Butterfly, and you
Yes,
did this
yes,
movie. So yeah,
yes.
it's my turn again. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of stuck between two
Will it be an
recommendations.
anime?
Well, one of them's an anime, and one of them's not an anime.
God.
And so I figured I just let the gods decide on this one again. We can. So I have an anime
Oh my
one and a
goodness.
non-anime one. So I'll let, unless you guys like have a strong preference, I'll let you guys kind of decide which one I recommend. So.
Well, what are they?
Okay, so my mythology, my mind is okay. Anime one has a higher chance of being good because, from what I believe, there's not that much gay stuff in anime. So if Timmy knows about it, it's probably like a more well versed one. Like maybe.
But here's the thing, though. This film is not, I guess, technically an LGBTQ film because the people who made the film like didn't go out of their way to seek out of their way to make it like that. But there,
so it's like an unintentional.
no. But there's
one.
shit that happens in the film where it's like there's no way this couldn't have been conceived as like an LGBT because like this film has been like lauded and like praised by like the LGBTQ community for being like this sort of like major like LGBTQ anime type film. I've never seen it, so I have no idea if this is like true or not. So, but I figured it'd be like a fun recommendation. But up to you guys.
But I feel like the one that's not an anime has a higher chance of
Being good.
Well, I don't know. I don't know because you could have found like a weird thing. You could like do like Ben and Arthur. or
No, I would
something
never
dumb,
do shit like
so-
that. Like, and plus we've already seen Ben and Arthur, so like, what reason would I have to recommend it again? So, yeah.
I don't know, Jules. What are you thinking?
I don't mind either way.
You don't
Maybe-
mind? Should we
maybe
just let the?
non-anime?
I mean, up to you guys. Like, you can let the gods decide.
Let's have a non-anime. Let's see what it is.
You want a
Let's see what
non-anime
it
one?
is.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, then
yeah.
I'll just save.
Non-anime.
Okay, what do you got
Then I'll
for
just
us?
save the anime one for another time. Then. Okay, so cool.
Yeah, don't tell us. I want a surprise for whatever. that
Okay,
is.
well,
Yeah.
so my pick for the non-anime one, if that's what we're going with, is a film that I've never seen from a director I've been wanting to see more films from him, and that's My Own Private Idaho, directed by Gus Van Sant.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
I have not seen this one.
yeah, I've been meaning to watch more Gus Van Sant stuff. I've seen he did Good Will Hunting and the shitty Psycho remake, so I have a great point of reference. But yeah, like there's a lot of stuff from him that I've been meaning to watch more of, and I figured, well, I mean, if we're gonna do Pride Month movies anyway, then might as well use this as an excuse to watch more stuff from him because I was debating between like him, Todd Haynes, and like Greg Araki and stuff like that. But like,
yeah.
this one looks kind of interesting. So yeah, I'd say let's go with My Own Private Idaho. Yeah, so cool.
All right.
Yeah, so if you don't want to be spoiled for My Own Private Idaho, directed by Gus Van Sant, 1991 or whatever the fuck this was made, watch it because we're gonna spoil the shit out of it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, have you guys seen any Gus Van Sant films or?
I've seen Good Will
no.
Hunting and a few other ones.
Okay.
I don't
Have you seen
remember.
Milk? I remember enjoying Milk too, but that was like a long time.
Oh, yeah,
ago.
I've seen Milk.
Yeah, so. And Luke, have you seen?
This is the only one I've ever
Okay,
seen from
so
him.
yeah, this will
Yeah.
be a nice, a nice experience.
It'll be a good rewatch. Yeah, I should watch this Milk.
When was the last time you saw it?
I'm not sure. I think like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
When was the last time I watched it? 2021.
Nice. Okay.
So it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit.
Well, because you've seen, is there anything we should expect? Because I know like zero things about this film, so.
I'm not really sure what I would say. I mean, yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, either way.
Keanu Reeves is gay.
I know Keanu Reeves is in the movie, but other than that,
Yeah. That's what you should expect.
which I'm kind of like curious to see because I'm like Keanu Reeves can do two things. He can shoot people and he can do the whoa, like Matrix shit or whatever. So I can't imagine like Keanu Reeves playing a character based on what I've read. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised. So, anyway, yeah, good pick from me, I guess.
Yeah, I think we should wrap it up. I thought this was going to be one of the shortest episodes when we didn't talk about Alice for that long, but we managed to stretch it out to nearly 2 hours. So thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, that's that.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.